Let's bring in Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator, thank you for joining us. And in the middle of that monologue, I rolled that soundbite of you saying, listen, we should not trust government to decide what is true, what is news, and what is fake news, what is real, and what is alternate facts. Tell us about it. What are your thoughts?
As long as I don't have to hear her sing anymore, please don't make me listen to her sing anymore. I think this weekend I had my picture taken with a woman, and she came up and she had a great T-shirt. She said, "Make Orwell fiction again" was on her T-shirt, and I wish it were so. When I first heard about this, I thought it was the Babylon Bee. I thought it was sarcasm. I thought, nobody in their right mind could think we would have a ministry of truth, or we would have the government determining what disinformation was. Somebody wrote recently that the irony of Mayorkas coming to our committee on the same day telling us that the border is secure and then saying we're going to have a bureau to get rid of disinformation. Well, the border's not secure, so a lot of us would say that that is disinformation. But just the irony of him presenting an untruth and saying he's going to be in charge of truth. But I asked him a very specific question. I asked him the question about the Steele dossier, which was Russian disinformation. Russians gave the information to Christopher Steele. He admitted he got it from sources in the Kremlin. FBI agents looked at this and said, this is Russian disinformation. It's not only not true, it was given to you by the Russians with a specific purpose of roiling our elections. And Mayorkas couldn't even admit that it was disinformation. So if we can't agree on what is disinformation, why would we want any government to have that power? And, CNN went on for years propagating that there was a Russian collusion with President Trump, and it turns out it was Russian disinformation they were propagating. But even if that being true, I'm not for rules that says CNN can't propagate untruths. Change the channel. We have choices, and really most of us find the truth by hearing a variety of voices and coming to the truth by listening to both sides and figuring out which side presents the better case.
Yeah, Senator, our biggest concern, I think you and I line up pretty closely politically, isn't that it's going to be used by one side. It's going to be overused by any government, even a Republican in office or Congress would maybe be tempted to use these types of boards, these information boards, misinformation boards in their favor as well. It's just a bad idea across the board, either side, right?
Yeah, and the thing is there have been some proposals on the internet from people on the right. There are some right-wing proposals to set up boards to oversee the internet and to police the internet to make it fair. But I worry about that as well, because I think, the right wing's not being treated fairly on the internet. We're going to have a government board to make the internet fair. So I think I'm a believer in neither side. I don't want either party. I don't want any politician of any stripe in charge of speech. I promise you, we have enough choices. In fact, we have more choices than we've ever had. Think about television, Newsmax, Fox, OAN on the right. You got CNN and MSNBC on the left. I think you have nobody in the middle, actually. But we have a lot of voices and a lot of choices now. The internet, all of the different podcasts, all of the different radio stations. We have thousands of choices. In the 1970s, we had 3 choices. So I think there's an argument to be made that we don't need government involved in this, that we actually have more choices than we've ever had.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the middle, so to speak, the NPRs of the world lean hard left, and they can't even admit it. And the worst part of that is it's taxpayer funded. It's that stuff, even the stuff that taxpayer funds that's supposed to be down by bipartisan or nonpartisan, we'll take either one. They lean hard left, and it's insane. Senator, I got to go because they tell me you have a schedule, but this one was Make Orwell Fiction again, MOFA. I think we have to run with this. I'm going to make some MOFA hats.
Very good. Send me one.
All right, Senator. Great talking to you, Rand Paul, Senator. Thank you for your time.